going on YouTube. Stay tuned. I'm going to give my opinion regarding Baton and why I don't recommend it for security or law enforcement use. Alright, so this video is going to be tabletop. Again, like I said, my opinion, and you may ask, who am I to give my opinion regarding this topic? Well, thanks for asking. So, been in law enforcement now for 4.5 years. Before that, I did 80 hours of defensive training when I did my law enforcement academy. 8 hours of that was dedicated just on baton use, and I was awarded a certificate regarding a baton. I had to present that certificate when I got hired in order to be issued a baton, and this is my law enforcement issued. This is an AS baton expandable, I believe a 21 inch. And in this video, what we're talking about is why I don't recommend the baton use for law enforcement and security. Let's get into it. All right, last thing is, before we get into the reasons, is leave a comment telling me why or why not you disagree with my opinions. You'll hear my reasons why as you get further into the video. But if you carry baton, let me know why. If you don't carry baton, let me know if you agree with me. And yeah, like, comment, just let me know what you guys think. All right, so the biggest reason I don't recommend it is because a baton is way easy to use excessive force when you don't mean to, and it doesn't matter if it's accidental. If you hit someone and you use too much force, then you are guilty of potentially manslaughter, potentially of excessive use of force. There's lots of liability that comes with this, and frankly, it's a dangerous tool to have on your belt. Now, what do I mean? Let me go to the definition of deadly force. So basically, deadly force is the force which would cause death or serious bodily harm. And let's go to another diagram that shows deadly force regarding baton. You can see that the deadly force area is the head, the neck, and the groin. When the also avoid places to avoid are the hands, the elbows, the shoulders, the knees, the feet. There's lots of places that you don't want to hit with a baton and can potentially very easily be deadly force. So let me give you a scenario. Someone's aggressively fighting with you. You know, he's actively resisting, and you're just fighting using that baton. It's a dynamic situation. You know, he's fighting with you, you swing, you miss, or he ducks, whatever. And then instead of hitting, let's say, his shoulder, which is a large, meaty target, you know, it's a target point in consideration, he swings, or you swing and you miss, and you hit his neck. Suddenly, you use deadly force. Now he's paralyzed, now he's dead, now he's XYZ, and now you use excessive force and you're going to jail for manslaughter. Wow. And it can even go beyond that. Someone's actively resisting, you swing, you miss, he ducks, he jumps, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you swing that baton and you hit him in the hands. You hit him in the feet. And now he's permanently paralyzed. He no longer has motor function of that hand. He no longer has motor function of anything below the leg. Because you hit him in the knees, you hit him in the hands, you hit him in the elbows. There's lots of places that if you hit them with this baton, you can permanently paralyze them. And if you go back to my definition of serious bodily harm, that is still considered deadly force. And frankly, it's kind of astounding that people even carry a baton. I think if you think about it, it's just not a good idea. Let me get to the second reason. All right, reason number 2 that I don't like baton is the optics of using it is terrible. Nowadays, that basically every law enforcement officer has a body camera, and civilians like to record police. If someone records you, and let's say you're justified, someone's actively resisting, and now he's on the ground, and you're in a situation of advantage, and you're trying to get pain compliance, and so you beat him with the stick. The optics of that just look terrible. You know, you have a civilian review board, you have a oversight committee, you have, you know, professional compliance board of your sheriff's office or police department, whatever. When they review body camera or civilian footage or cell phone footage, whatever, when they just see you standing over somebody and beating them with a stick, or whatever, just think about it, that the optics of using a baton and beating people for pain compliance is a really outdated concept and something you should avoid. It doesn't matter if you're justifying that use of force. It just doesn't look good. You know, you can think of Rodney King, you can think of 4 cops beating someone to submission. You know, the days of carrying around a big stick to beat people with, I think is long past. We have better solutions between the taser, between OC spray, there's new pepper ball guns. There's, I don't know, open-handed techniques. There's lots of ways to get compliance. And I think carrying a stick to beat people is not one of them. So that's my second reason, is just the optics is just not a good look no matter what. Even if you're justified, it looks very aggressive. It looks bad on the officer that's using it. Let's go to the third reason. All right, so this is going to be the last reason. I'm going to give you kind of a two-part answer. Is a baton is very, I guess, of all, is the weight and bulk. So batons are very weighty. You know, this is, I want to say about 2 pounds, and this is a collapsible minimal baton. Imagine if you had a TR-24, the full length, you know, wood baton or whatever, by weighs and about the same, but it's much bigger. It's about 2 feet in length. So this is very awkward shape. It's very long. It's very heavy. In my case, I live about 3 hours away in terms of my total driving to and from work. And so you work a 12-hour shift. It takes me an extra 3 hours to get from and to work. So 15 hours a day, you're carrying a duty belt. In my case, my duty belt, I carry all my gear. I don't have any load-bearing vest, which is kind of a new thing where people carry weight on their vest now compared to their duty belt. I still carry all my duty gear on my duty belt. So imagine 15, 20 pounds on your belt. In my case, I went very consciously to minimize my belt setup in terms of taking weight off where I could and carrying the equipment I need, because I wanted to both be comfortable and be very conscious of what's on my belt. I don't want to put everything on there because I have the space. You know, I want to be very lightweight, minimal, and very deliberate on what I have on my belt. I felt like a baton had no use on what on my duty belt, basically. And so that's my answer. It's very bulky, it's very heavy. And the second part of my last answer is it's not very useful. I've talked to a lot of officers that carry this on duty. For example, my FTO and just other ones as I came across them, just BS. I'm like, hey, what do you use a baton for? And frankly, there's not really a good answer. Basically, no one actually uses a baton. My FTO in this case, when I asked him, he said he would use it to pick up things that were icky. You know, if there's something, I don't know, evidence on the ground, or if there's something that, for whatever reason, he wanted to pick up and not use his hands, even with gloves, he would just use a baton, pull it out, and pick it up. It's kind of interesting, I guess. It's kind of a, I don't know, it's just, you carry this and you're not even going to use it. It's, I talked to a lot of people and they never really use it. And I don't know, it's just one of those things where it puzzles me on why they do it. And if you think about it more so, I should actually make you question, does this justify me carrying it on my belt? The last part is dedicated equipment for the task at hand. So I don't have it with me. I have it on my duty belt, but I carry a Rescue Me tool. I'll show a picture on screen. But this is a dedicated glass breaker and seatbelt cutter. The main reason I carry it on my duty belt is for the glass breaking function. There's many, many reasons that you may have to get entry into a car, get entry into a house, you know, break into a window. There's many, many reasons you may need to do that as you work in a law enforcement capacity. I've heard people justify using baton because they can break into a window very easily. Okay, I don't think that's a great idea. If you have a very simple dedicated tool which weighs nothing, I think that's a better option. I guess potentially you could use this to pry things open if you come across this situation, but I don't really see a use for baton. Maybe leave it in your car and never use it again, but yeah, that's my opinion. I challenge you to, if you have an opinion that disagrees or agrees in my case, just let me know how you think about it. This is probably going to be a controversial topic. This is not usually something I talk about. I focus more on gear, shooting, and shooting clips on my YouTube channel, but this is a topic that I'm kind of interested. I want to share my opinion. I want to see what you guys thought about what I have to say. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. I know it's been a little bit longer than I expected, but post a comment, like, dislike, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, YouTube.